of Beer with the Boss, that podcast where a guy and his boss have a beer after a long working day and talk about technology and whatever is trending out there. I'm Rodrigo Matos.
And I'm Joe Zamboni. So, Rodrigo, what are you drinking today?
So I'm drinking beer finally, Joe. After I don't know how many episodes of not drinking beer, I'm drinking just a common corn beer from Uruguay called Norteña. I'm not gonna show the beer because it's a very big bottle. So the ones who are familiar with this beer, I think they only come in like a liter bottle. So the bottle is in the fridge, keeping it cold, like Brazilians like to drink their beer. But yeah, that's what I'm drinking today. How about you, Joe? What beer
I'm
are you drinking today?
drinking not beer, man. I'm drinking hot chocolate, at least in the Webera's mug, and water.
There you go, hot chocolate and water. That's great.
and today we have a special guest, right?
Yeah, I've heard about it. Do you want to introduce our guest, Joe?
Yeah, today we have Natalia here with us. She works at Webera, at Avant, sorry, at Avant as a project manager. And she has something special to share with us, something that we don't see every day, right, Rodrigo? That is
Yeah,
that is hardware and agile, right?
harder and agile.
So, Natalia, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very happy to be here. So thank you for the invite. And I'm a little bit anxious for sorry for any mistake. And I'm very excited.
Very important question for you, Natalia. What are you drinking?
Oh, I'm broken a very big rule here today. I'm drinking gin because I don't have beer at my house today, but that's okay, I guess, right?
Apparently, this is not you're not breaking any rules because Joel and I we haven't been drinking beer for like a few episodes and
Yeah.
we've been drinking water, so it's fine. It's beer with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
boss, but it's all right. It's all about what drinking a beer with your friends mean, right? Just like
Yeah.
conversation
Yeah.
and it's like yeah.
The
We're gonna
moment.
have guests coming like in the next episodes that we're not gonna be drinking any alcohol at all. And so don't feel ashamed if you wanna join us for one of our episodes. You don't need to drink alcohol. We are fragile. We don't mind.
Yeah. Actually, one of our top episodes that we had was with someone who doesn't drink. Shout out to Mustafa. He were talking about Rusty, and he was one of the top, if not the top episode that we had
Yeah.
when we talk about Rust, which is interesting to see how many people like that thing called Rust.
Or dislike it, right? Maybe
Yeah, or
people are
dislike.
like
Maybe people are looking for the like. Yeah, but yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, all
Cool.
right.
So um whenever we talk about agile, whenever we talk about scrum, people usually think about software, right? Software development, and that's like, I guess, common sense is that agile, scrum, they only work for software teams. In
Yeah, it's
many
in the
of our apps.
manifesto, right? It's in the
Oh,
manifesto,
there you
right?
go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in the Agile manifesto starts with less documentation, or one of the rules is less documentation, more software working, something like that. So
Yeah.
it's there in
Yeah.
the beginning.
But in many of our episodes here in Beer with the Boss, we mentioned that we work like agile works for our um, human resources team, finance team. We all of them use Scrum, so we don't really we don't like to follow rules. See, we like to adapt frameworks and
I mean,
all of
we
this.
follow
Yeah.
a rule. Is the Scrum framework?
Yeah, but yeah, that's true. That's true. The
The
Scrum,
only
we
rule.
follow. Yeah, we follow the rule that you can adapt the framework to your business, right? And yeah.
Yeah.
So Natalia, she's working with two different teams of like very brilliant engineers who build AI powered robots. Of course, we're not gonna say who they are, but they are brilliant. They are like top notch technology. They're hardware teams, and Natalia is their Scrum Master. So they are working with Scrum. And Natalia, I want to start with a question for you. Uh, what was the biggest challenge at the beginning when you started working with these teams? Were they like familiar with Scrum? Did they know what it was? Can you give us some examples of the challenges you faced when you started working with them?
Sure. The biggest, I guess, was with the engineers because was not a common method to use for work for them. So it's like, oh, it's gonna be we spend more time with that. I have to work more. I don't want to spend time with meetings. I don't want to spend time like planning the work. And in the beginning, you have to show what's the value of the Scrum, what is gonna work for them because they never work with something like that. So everything is different, cause like a bad effect in the first moment. So the beginning, this is the first challenge for me.
Yeah, we actually had a fight with someone on the internet, right, on Instagram the other day, right,
Yeah.
Rodrigo?
That's true.
Because the guy was saying that what's called Agile did the most damage to software development. And I was like, and then we were in discussion, was like, why do people say that? And then our point or our thinking is like, well, the Scrum Master is the one who tells the things are late or that you didn't do your task. So there is this resistance, like this thing. But I think few people remember, well, not few people, a lot of people remember, but like how was before with the waterfall, where you have schedules that don't last, like the door of the meeting where they were created, right? You finish the meeting that you create a waterfall schedule, and you left the meeting with already need to update it. So people don't remember that, right? But anyway,
Yeah,
yeah, that
one of
go ahead.
sorry, Joe. Yeah, just like one of the things that in what Natalia was saying in her initial thoughts is, I guess it's the stigma, right? The stigma of
Yeah.
Scrum of any agile framework is, oh, it's actually going to slow us down. It's going to make us have all of these meetings for things we already knew we have to do. And during this like argument we were having with this guy on Instagram last week, Joe and I we're talking to another like, where does it come from? What kind of data does this guy have to prove that his developers are less productive after they started, working with someone facilitating Scrum for them? Like, is there any data to prove that, or is just something they're repeating again and again and again and again, and people say that? And anyway,
Yeah,
if
and for
you
oh, sorry,
go ahead, Nachi.
go
No,
ahead,
sorry,
go
go ahead.
ahead.
No, it's
And
fine.
for me, it don't make any sense because for me, the Scrum, beside the other parts, we make the improvements for the team. It's no one will interrupt you when we are doing your work. You have the answers. We can help on that. We can help like with how can I break this and see what I have to do. Not like I have this big project to deliver until this day. And so, what is the beginning? If someone ask for you this machine, uh, what is the part you have to finish when it's arrived, and you don't know how to say because you have a very big task, and with a scrum you can make like a smaller tasks with that and show, oh, I'm the half of the way to deliver this machine, so everybody can see easily and quickly to find this answer. So for me, it don't make any sense.
No, you're right. And
Yeah.
anybody listening to us, prove us wrong. Do you have any data that Scrum Masters, project managers slow teams down? Show
Yeah,
us. We'll be happy to see them.
I think, yeah. So there is a report called Chaos Report, something like that, that says about how successful are projects or IT projects based on methodology and other things, right? Uh, Scrum projects or Agile projects, they don't fail. Uh, they don't fail most of the time, right? It's like, I think Kanban, no, Kanban, no, Waterfall, they fail. I don't know, 99% of the time, or 80%. I don't remember the exact number. And agile projects, they fail a little bit less than half. So it's not that is like a bulletproof. But the interesting thing is the report is that developers don't think about. But when the Scrum fail, and then you go down under the numbers and see why they fail, uh, the most like the Pareto thing, like if you solve 20% of the problems, that will improve significantly, or 80% of the problem is time to decision making. So that's why there are successful companies, successful projects, they push the decision process to the edge. It's because it takes less time to. And that is, I think that's the only numbers that I know. So like, okay, uh,
Yeah.
first, Agile is not the first on failing. It's is the one that most of the time works. Second, when it fails, is because there is like a organization structure where doesn't value decision, faster decision. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, Joe. Yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome. Nacho, I want to ask you something about your experience with these teams. When you started working with them, how were they like organizing their work? Do they have any type of tool? Did they like work with any task management? How was it?
Yeah. At a client, one specific was working with Jira, but just the software team, the hardware team not. And when we start there, now we are at the point when the Jira was not interested for anyone, not for the software, because it's a tool very, very close. Like you can't make like something very personal for you, kind of the team. It's very how can I say it? Very strong, very
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 personal,
Jira.
square.
Let's say
Yeah.
very Jira. Jira
very
is
Very
so
Jira.
Jira
Yeah.
like.
And the software team was migrate for GitHub was amazing in my opinion for the software team because you can link everything else there and it's very good. And but for the hardware team, it's not don't have so much value for them because you don't have like the code for put there and you don't have like the easy way to put like a calendar to because the hardware you have data for deliverables, you have a lot of other kind of workflow. So Notion was very amazing for them because you can put like images, like calendar things, like scheduling things, a lot of kind of workflows who fits better for the hardware team. So the Jira was not good for anyone
Yeah.
and not for this kind of projects. And GitHub was amazing for the software, but for the hardware, I guess the Notion is the best solution because you can do anything you want. Like it's very easy,
Yeah.
and the UI it's better too because Jira is like, oh my god, what I can
Yeah.
do now? What is that? You have something a fear like use that. What is this button? Like Notion, no, you know how to do these things. You can. It's easy to understand.
Yeah, the customization part as well, you said, right?
Yeah,
In Jira, you have, oh, you can customize a workflow, but customizing a workflow in Jira is making things harder, actually, right? Because then you create rules that you cannot move this ticket, which is a good
yeah,
thing for some teams, but I can imagine, like, for a team who's not used to this type of framework, who thinks, no, this is not for me, and then you ask them to use Jira. Uh, I mean, it's it. I can see how it would they would think that agile is not for them if agile means Jira, right? What do you think, Joe? Like,
Yeah, I think though that we still have. I mean, when we start looking at Agile for hardware, there's this presentation on YouTube like, of a company that does cars. I think they were delivering a new, not a new model, but a new prototype every 2 weeks. So they deeply adopted Agile in their structure. Not they were delivering a new car every 2 weeks, but like a new prototype of a car. So they were able to iterate very fast and produce new models which I think is the core of any hardware company these days. Like I think if you look at Tesla's success beside Elon Musk now, they have a great success in their cars because they test a lot. They change the car a lot. When we have a model in the street, that car passed through many interactions. Like I learned that uh, from my car, my first Tesla was a 2021 Model Y, and my friend's car, which was a 2022 Model Y, they had changes in the suspension 47 times. So for the same car, it's like okay, they changed it 47 times. So
Yeah, and I guess it's the biggest challenge for the hardware team with the Scrum. It's fits in the sprints because they have a very big deliverable every single moment. And I guess the Scrum help on that and like put this big project in the smaller tasks, and you can plan with that. Or have to this deliverable for the 3 months, but you can split that in smaller tasks and see this progress. It's good, in my opinion, for the team and for the company. So you can see everybody's work and management that, and everybody can see the progress show. Because if you're working in a very big project and you never see the result, you never see the end, looks like you never deliver something it's value for the company. And when and you broken that, you say, oh no, I can't deliver that in 2 weeks. And it's important for the company too. It's important for the whole project.
it's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's cool. And how these two clients, Nachi, do they are they using sprints already? Like how
Oh,
is it?
not the both, just one of them. And the my dream is the both we're gonna fit in the sprint, and we are working on that. And it's easier to understand because of that. The client was not working the sprint. It's not working the sprint. It's difficult to people see the progress of the project, because it's you have this goal, you just see in the end of the project, and it's more difficult to understand what is the mistake. When you make some mistake in the this time, you can't fix if you don't done that. So I'm trying that. I'm trying. We will work on
Yeah,
the sprint.
it's a work in progress, right? It's the next
Yeah.
Yeah,
steps. It's already a big accomplishment for this team to be working with Scrum and like tracking their progress in a board, using
with points,
priorities, right?
right? We had the
With
problem
With
with
points,
points
yeah.
that
points.
they didn't use. They don't want to use points. They know the size of the task. Then a task could like last for 3 weeks, and then it was like something that just someone will take 2 minutes to do.
Yeah,
So I
and
kept
one of
dragging
the
it in.
clients always work with the size of the t-shirt to understand the points. They always know what is the time, what is the size of the t-shirt to understand. Always someone said about that when someone is just frozen. I don't know, I spend a lot of time, but it's not about the time. It's always discussed, and you always use the t-shirt size.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
It's an
think Scrum is
eternal
misunderstood.
yeah, it's an eternal like fight on like how many minutes or how many hours is one point. It's like it's
Yeah,
difficult. It takes time, but if you don't do it, and that this is something that we do right at a Webera at Avanti, like we use story points for project management tasks. Like we have our own tasks, and we were even discussing this the other day, right, Natalia? Like
Yeah.
should we use story points for us? Does it make sense? Of course it does, because we have to understand how difficult it is sometimes for people to estimate their work. So if we understand, it's easier for us to explain to them
yeah.
how to estimate work using story points. Natalia, I have one question for you. Do you have any advice for other scrum masters out there who are working with hardware teams and the team is struggling on like implementing Scrum or is resistant to Scrum? Any advice for this other fellow project managers, Scrum masters?
Yeah, I guess the first thing is remember we are flexible, and not like it's a rule we have to do like this, and not understand the team. You have to understand the project and the team and be flexible with them, and like step by steps, and not like, oh, everybody's gonna use the sprint now, the priority, the story points. It's like that. it's it's not work, because the first moment you have to make them believe about the scrum, and for that you have to understand them, listen them, and respect. And after that you can look to, oh, this I can help you on that if you do like this, and show the results before you just put everything about the scrum for everybody. No, let's like step by step, understand and listen a lot. I guess this is my advice.
How about you, Joe? Any advice for founders of hardware companies who are still resistant to Scrum and
I
Agile?
think we were talking the other day. Founders should not only hardware, any founder should stop hiring coaches and hire scrum masters to
Yeah,
to make sure the tasks are being accomplished. Because that's, I think, I mean, coaches have their value when the founder doesn't know the why he's doing that. But as soon as they get why they want to do the thing, just uh just track the tasks and make sure that you don't lose your why, right? Yeah.
that's awesome.
How about you,
That's good
Rodrigo?
advice. Yeah, I mean, uh, wh- why not? Why not give it a shot? Um, there, these are like just two examples of how it could work for any company to use Scrum. As we said again, we use Scrum internally for all of our teams. I had a very interesting conversation today with a person on Lunch Club, and we're talking about Scrum. And this person is a designer who has nothing to do with development, software development, and like especially SaaS. And he said, I can't stop. I don't stop like hearing about agile. Everybody's talking about agile. It seems like it's coming into different industries now, not only software development. I'm like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's not only about software development. It's something that it helps any kind of business work smarter, right?
Yeah.
Don't work harder, work smarter, be more productive, use uh and I mean, anyway, again, we're biased to talk about it, but we invite you to try it in your business, and
Yeah.
stop hiring coaches and mentors and hire a scrum master today.
Yeah, and I guess we have a skill is very important for this kind of company or this kind of project. It's the communication. So if you are a scrum master, you are good with the communication. That's what we need in every single company and every single project. Depends if you're software, hardware, doesn't matter. Everything in the relationship, we need communication. So a scrum master is for that too. So it can be easier, and everybody who doesn't like to do that, we can do for you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, Rodrigo and Natalia were not hired project managers. They
Yeah,
came from customer success, right? I tend to hire people from, or we, in Avanti, tend to hire people from these areas where, because we know that Scrum, we can help the person to learn, but talking with other people, that's harder. That's hard to teach.
yeah,
So having experience, even if you hire a Scrum Master, that's not from Avanti, uh, having someone who work with support or customer success, have interaction with users and technical teams, that's more important than having deep knowledge on Scrum. Like, because that's, I mean, not that it's not important, but is with time you can get it. An example, and then Scrum is like the other, like it's one meeting every 2 weeks to plan, one meeting every 2 weeks to plan the other week, and the daily meeting, the daily scrum, that can be offline. Like you can use tools to do offline. You don't need to do, but everybody needs to tell what they are working on, so they need to inform everybody. Communication, that's part important. So, and the demo that you're gonna show off what you did during the sprint, And the retro that you want to learn what you did on the last sprint, and you can do. I think we're having the what's it called
Apple reactions.
Apple reactions.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you're getting Apple reactions. Yeah, that's funny. We should just turn off this thing. But yes, I think the beauty of Scrum and Kanban too is the simplicity, right? The value on communication, the value on the people, let people work. It's very small the number of meetings and things like that. What
Amen.
else? Amen.
uh,
All
I'm
right.
done with my beer. I don't know about you guys. Do you have any more gin,
My
Nachi,
chocolate is
or are you
over.
done?
Mm, just a little bit.
Okay, you can neck it. Just like. No, I'm
Oh,
kidding.
that's true. I will after that.
All right. Well, Natalia, thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your experience with these teams. We hope to have you here soon. Always welcome to join us again. Joe, thank you again, and thank you everybody. Joe, I'll let you say bye to our
Uh,
audience.
Thank you, Natalia, again. Thank you, Rodrigo, for having us. Don't forget, guys, we normally run the live on YouTube when we are recording. So this go live unfiltered. Whatever mistakes we did, sorry. On normally on every other Friday afternoon, this goes to Spotify and Amazon and other podcast sites. Uh, and now we have TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, um, X, and what's called over the. I think it's over, right? So, no, there's more
I think
Facebook
that's
too.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Facebook
Facebook.
for the ones who are using Facebook. I don't know who they are, but
Whoever
I
is
know them.
there, we also love you, people from Facebook. You know,
The
Grandma, love
old
you.
people. Exactly. But I love you guys.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
No. Nath entra de novo.